to understand and how to enjoy when you're reading comics. Now, it's about how to understand about comics. For the, first, it's about how to understand about comics. Since some of people not really like to reading comics, some people just like novels. No offense, okay? Okay, the first one is how to understand a genre that you want to read. Okay, this genre, actually I have my own experience when I'm reading them, when I choose the genre and when I read the comic itself. Uh, Now I'm just gonna give you guys example, and I'm not gonna tell you all of them, just some of them. First is a romance. Romance, for the romance genre, is a bit kind of unique, I would like to say, because you know when you guys hear or read romance, you guys must think it's about kissing or about hugging or holding hands, right? Actually, it's no. Some of the author, they don't really like to explain the details of the genre, so they just let it be or just write down romance, just all. So actually, romance is like more than that. They can be more than kiss or more than holding hands. I experienced myself. Actually, I have some of the comics that just like that, not very detailed for explaining the genre. So you guys must be careful when it comes to romance. And the next is sci-fi. Actually, sci-fi is more to like space and go to more like technology. But this sci-fi actually almost related to mecha. Mecha is almost like also almost like a technology as well, but they not really go to space. Like they go to space, but after that they go to Earth again. Story for the comics. I can tell you more. For sci-fi, space, you guys know, like spaceship, and for technology, maybe like robot or like other people call it, for the one who know, like for otaku, I think it's Gundam. For sci-fi, they really go detail the story about the space and robot things. Whatever the robot is, huge or small, it's about technology too, right? And they also talk about like a war as well, a space war. They also go there. The next is fantasy. Well, for fantasy, it's like they talk about like fantasy world. You guys must know that, right? Fantasy world. But fantasy, it doesn't mean or just fantasy. They go to isekai as well. It's almost same as isekai, but the difference is just isekai is just how would I say this? Isekai is just from person from like, for example, just for example, okay, like person from a technology world go to a fantasy world. They go to like the world that don't have technology. Instead, they have a magic. You call it magic or like spirit or something. And for the last example is like horror. Horror is for comics. It's not always the like ghost, spirit, or yokai. No, they go. They sometimes like not all of them is like that. They sometimes just the place that they take action in the comics. Maybe the place is a house or a mansion. That like the feeling is like when we watch a horror movie. Okay, the next one is that how to understand the way to search a comic. I'm gonna tell you guys some of the links. Actually, this link is the one I used. There is other link, but I just don't want to all of them because it's way too much. So I just gonna give you guys the link that I most used and some examples as well. Now, different links, different sources, and different sources, different chapter. Is for example, okay, just give you for example. When you guys for example, when you guys read comics, you guys read comics from the link that you guys always use. For example, as a manga hub. In the manga hub, you guys like search for Irma-kun, okay? Just like in the picture, is there has an anime or comics. In this Irma-kun comics, you guys like they have like if I'm mistaken, it's 85, yeah, active 85 chapters. But when you go to battle link, there is like 45 chapters. So it's different link, different source, different chapter. Also, by different sources, I mean that not always the same. Sometimes the chapter can be the same, sometimes it's different, or maybe the link itself they have a two language, so they can be a different chapter as well. And you guys can also use other the link that the link that I just have in this uh, in this presentation. But actually, the thing that I will not recommend is this link. You can see my arrow, right? It's Netrian. Netrian is other language comics, so I don't know that you guys will understand the language or not. And the risk is that when you search other sources, you guys will hard to control or understand the language. Or for control, I mean that when you click for next chapter, I do have some experience. When I click the next chapter, some of the trash from the phone, like a chapter or something, is being download to my phone. So you guys must be careful when you go to other sources to see comics that you guys like. The next is that how to understand different between comics from different countries. For this one is actually pretty complicated. I can tell you first from manhwa. Manhwa is from China. If you guys can see my arrows, just please see my arrow because it's gonna be complicated. From manhwa is like this from China. They love this like kind of graphic, but actually manhwa almost the same as manhwa from South Korea. They're almost the same. So you guys must be careful because manhwa, some of manhwa people, like the one who author, the one who make it, the comics can almost make the same as the from the South Korea manhwa. Now go to the manhwa from South Korea. South Korea people like to make comics like almost the same as the person who live there. It's almost the same. If you guys love to like to watch something like K-pop or something, you guys must be know the face of the from people from South Korea. This is the face. So they like to make the graphic a bit real, and they also make this too. So it's almost the same as manhwa from China, but sometimes it's a bit different. So you guys must be careful between these uh, two comics that's from South Korea and China. And then is manga. You guys know it's from Japan. It's very easy to see because Japan people love to make like their own graphics more different, and you guys already see that they're more detailed than other comics. I do have my experience to see the difference between them, and I think that manga from Japan is like more detailed. And go to webtoon. Webtoon is actual web and comic. Isn't act. It's like combination between manhwa, and manga. But it's just that they have a translator, and they sometimes they let some other author want to come join to their apps. So that's the main question. Next is that how to enjoy comics that you read. Okay, this is when you enjoy your comics, you like to make expression or maybe talk to yourself. Actually, for this one is I have experience in it since I'm a taco and I love to read too much and waste my time just because of the comics. So when you read, you guys like to talk to yourself or smile. Or sometimes if you guys already get used to read, so maybe you guys like to guess what the main character gonna say. I do have some of the guessing for the main character. For example, that the main character have a girlfriend, and the girlfriend said that, "What the hell are you doing?" And somehow, you you guys guess that I don't do anything. When you scroll down, it's true. You guys gonna feel like you proud for yourself, or you guys gonna smile, or you guys gonna jump out of excitement of it. For me, actually, when I'm reading, also, I like to, how I would say this, guessing, yes, but other than guessing, I love to talk to myself. my, without any without know that without I don't know that what I'm doing to my phone. Somehow it just gone from my hand, and when I see that my phone is in my sister bed. So when you enjoy your readings, you guys gonna feel like you guys are in is in another world. You guys not in reality, but unreality world that you guys made. So I think that's all that for me to say. And if I have a wrong word, so I'm so sorry. If you, and you guys have any question, you can ask me. Thank
Okay, I wanna ask
Okay, okay.
okay. Okay. By the way, I really like your pronunciation, Miss Ria. I
you. Yes.
really like it. And then
Okay.
my question is, so what's your favorite genre when
My
you are reading
favorite
a comic?
genre. How would I say this? Um, maybe a lot, but maybe the one that I love is physiological, something that was psychopath. I just think that something that was psychopath, action, martial arts, thriller, and some of sci-fi. I think yeah, and isekai as well. And that's all.
Okay. So do you more prefer to watch comic better than watch the movie?
Movies. I do love movies, but not too much. Maybe like the movies that was get me excited. I think that's all. Since many movies these days is a horror, and I don't really like a scary movie because I have a trauma. So no, so I think I waste my time on reading.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wah, good job. I like your pronunciation, Miss. I will say Miss or how?
Just call me
Okay,
Lisa.
Miss. I really like your pronunciation. And I want to ask you something.
Yes.
Why do you like read the comics? Because is it not feel bored actually, or do you, because for me read the comics like apa ya, bosan, bored,
Boring.
feel
Yeah.
boring, yeah. And do you know, is it because the story maybe is you interested with the story, or with the hmm, memang hobi atau bagaimana, Miss?
Oh, how do I say this? Hobby? I think maybe the first time is it's not a hobby. I think actually the first time it happened that my sister bought comics, and somehow I thought that okay, let's bought the comics, and okay, it's become a hobby. And when I think I mean when I'm reading a comics, I yes, it is boring. Yes, it is, but somehow I just enjoy it, and maybe I could read another comics rather than the same comics I read. And also I do why I feel not boring some of the time because I reading comics, because some of my comics only only update like 1 year once a year, or maybe twice a year. So that's maybe because I love reading comics, waiting, maybe because of that.
Okay, so it is comes from your brother read that comics, so you want to read the comics like that.
My sister actually.
Oh, your sister. Okay, okay. Thank you. Good
You're
pronunciation.
welcome.
Good job.
I want to ask Miss Ria.
Yes.
Hmm, I like your pronunciation. It's very good.
Thank
Hmm,
you.
do you prefer read the comic and online or a book?
Book. Oh,
Hmm.
um, okay. I do love reading comics in the books as well, but it's just that when you want to find books that was well, a translator sometimes different from the author, the one who like released the comic. So I try to um search it, and yeah, it's more fun to read it in online. But for books, I do love reading books with for comics, but it's just that from I think from Bahasa, it just a little of the books comics
Hmm.
that attract my eyes. So yeah, so not really.
Okay. Thank you, Miss.
Yes, no problem.
Miss Livia really love that comic because detail. She knows kinds of comics like from China, Japan. Yeah, 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 yeah.
She's like the
Yeah, yeah, very good,
expert
very good.
in
I
this.
just, Miss Ria, yeah, Miss
She's
Ria.
from Ria is
I just know that comics has some kinds from Japan, from China, because of your presentation, Good. Okay, thank you, thank you.
yes. Oh yes. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
thank
the
you. Thank you.
appreciate. I hope I can see you guys next time. So have a nice day, everyone.
Have a nice
Goodbye.
day.
Day.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Miss. Have a nice
Bye.
day.